Best-selling books, Oscar noms, and Hallmark holiday fare, they aren't mean girls anymore. Here's what your favorite students from North Shore High School are up to 2 decades on. So fetch. A lot has transpired in Lindsay Lohan's life since Mean Girls. The film put her on the map, major teen awards followed, and Lohan became the focus of many teenage aspirations. But things for Lohan got dark for a while. The star got into some trouble that her character Katie Heron wouldn't believe. In 2007, Lohan was arrested for driving under the influence and drug possession. It only marked the beginning of legal issues that would plague Hollywood's notorious party animal for years and serve as profit-making tabloid fodder. Lohan didn't attempt to shrug off her circumstances and took responsibility for her addiction. She told CBS News, "It is clear to me that my life has become completely unmanageable because I am addicted to alcohol and drugs."
And at the end of the day, my main objective is, to maintain my sobriety.
Lohan's big screen stint as a lead actor was taken over by reality television, music, and eventually life. But Lohan never lost touch with her teen rom-com roots. In 2022, she starred as an heiress who loses her memory in the Netflix movie Falling for Christmas. She even appeared enthused about a possible sequel to Mean Girls, as long as it's not starring in the musical. She told co-star Amanda Seyfried for Interview magazine, "It has to be the same tone." The world has much to thank Tina Fey for, and Mean Girls ranks high on that list. The actor, writer, and comic extraordinaire boasts a glowing career that goes beyond her Saturday Night Live days. When an opportunity to write for the big screen came knocking, she hit it out of the park, drafting a screenplay that would single-handedly change the course of the teen rom-com genre. Fey got the idea for the Mean Girls screenplay after reading Rosalind Wiseman's book, Queen Bees and Wannabes. The former SNL head writer admitted to drawing several bits from her own life. Plastic-in-Chief Regina George was something of a self-sketch for Fey. She told The Edit, "If I meet a girl of 14 or 15 today who is that kind of girl, I am secretly in my body afraid." Besides the Mean Girls legacy, which includes a stage musical that reached Broadway, Fey made strides in television by writing, producing, and starring in the acclaimed NBC sitcom 30 Rock. She created the Netflix series Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and had roles on TV shows like Only Murders in the Building. Fey has also kept her SNL crew creatively close, starring in the ensemble buddy comedy Wine Country, and has toured with BFF Amy Poehler in their 2023 live comedy show, The Restless Leg Tour. One could argue Jonathan Bennett was instrumental in the founding of Mean Girls Day. His character Aaron Samuels asked Katie Heron what day it was on October 3rd.
On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was.
It's October 3rd.
Bennett told Teen Vogue, "It's the weirdest thing to be Aaron Samuels because not a day goes by that someone doesn't come up to you and say something." He's one of the few original cast members to express no interest in starring in a remake, but he does revel in its legacy for the sake of fans and goodwill. In 2017, Bennett marked October 3rd by getting together with co-stars Lindsay Lohan and Amanda Seyfried to raise money for gun safety. In 2023, he surprised students who were performing in a high school production of Mean Girls by showing up backstage and showering them with pre-show advice. Following his breakout role, Bennett appeared in Hallmark films and hosted on the Food Network. He married his longtime partner James Vaughn in 2022. Lizzy Caplan's character, Janice Ian, was every high schooler's goth dream come to life. With her straight black hair, unorthodox wardrobe, and quick wit, the Mean Girl star played the role to perfection. Caplan told the AV Club that she originally read for Katie Heron's part, but was keen on landing her breakout role of Janice. She said, "I remember reading that script, thinking it was the funniest thing I had ever read and wanting to be in it more than anything." Her role in Mean Girls led the way for Caplan to embark on more extensive acting work in film and TV. She's appeared in the films The Disaster Artist and The Interview, alongside the company of old Freaks and Geeks co-stars Seth Rogen and James Franco. She turned lead for the Paramount Plus original series Fatal Attraction and the show Party Down. In 2017, she married producer Tom Riley, and the two have a son together. Though she believes in the wholeness of the original, Caplan is more than willing to come aboard a second Mean Girls movie. She told Grazia, "I would be an idiot not to join." There wouldn't be a Mean Girls without Regina George. Despite her plastic queen bee nastiness, Rachel McAdams is grateful to have played the role. She told the New York Times, "I have to thank Regina George for giving me some longevity. I was at the beginning of my career, and it was a lofty thing out there that I really wanted to do." McAdams wasn't just writing in burn books or telling boys they look good with their hair pushed back. The Notebook hit theaters 2 months after Mean Girls, catapulting McAdams' career. Consecutive successes with films like Wedding Crashers and Red Eye brought her further acclaim in Hollywood. But McAdams took an acting hiatus in 2006 to recalibrate her life. She told Bustle, "There's certainly things like I wish I'd done that, but I also knew it wasn't quite jiving with my personality and what I needed to stay sane." The leading lady came back in 2008, working with major directors like Richard Curtis and Woody Allen. Her role as journalist Sasha Pfeiffer in the acclaimed 2015 film Spotlight was among her most important. It prompted a splash of awards and nominations that cemented McAdams' stature as a versatile actor worth watching for years to come. She's a mouse, duh. But she's also an Oscar-nominated actor now. Amanda Seyfried's role as the benevolent airhead Karen Smith in Mean Girls launched her showbiz career. Her big screen debut drove her headfirst into global recognition, so much so that random people would ask her to predict the weather. Another starring rom-com role followed in 2008 with Mamma Mia, but as Seyfried herself has acknowledged, she has always just teetered near the edges of stardom. She told Marie Claire, "I've never been super famous. I've always been somewhat recognizable. It's been the healthiest trajectory." In a bid to stay out of the limelight, Seyfried lives on a farm in the Catskills with her husband Thomas Sadowski and their 2 children. Besides rubbing elbows with big movie names like Meryl Streep, Megan Fox, and Russell Crowe, Seyfried has also dipped her toes into television. She took on serious roles in The Dropout and in Mank. The latter marked a milestone in Seyfried's filmography, earning her an Oscar nod for her portrayal of icon Marion Davies. She told The Hollywood Reporter, "To be recognized by your peers, you don't expect it, but when it happens, it just deepens my clarity on having chosen my career." Lacey Chabert, best known for playing second plastic in command Gretchen Wieners, has been up to some fetch stuff in her post-Mean Girls era. After her star-making role in the 2004 feature, Chabert acted in a few notable titles like Ghosts of Girlfriends Past before she found her groove at Hallmark. She started out in picture-perfect festive flicks in 2010, and it set Chabert on a path of genre-specific acting that she is still on today. She told Us Weekly, "These movies mean so much to me. They're not just jobs, and I feel a responsibility to the audience to make the absolute best movie I can." Her Hallmark portfolio includes films like The Wedding Veil and The Sweetest Christmas. Though she's now a Hallmark queen, Chabert can't escape her Mean Girls legacy, even on the internet. Tweets and mentions referencing the classic movie run in the hundreds on her social media. But Chabert's not complaining. She told Forbes, "You hope it's going to resonate with people, and the fact that all these years later, it's something people are still talking about and it's become such a part of pop culture." Like many of her fellow actors, Chabert is more than open to the idea of a reboot.
Okay, that was so fetch.
So what's the 411 on Amy Poehler? The cool mom from Mean Girls had a busy few years in the aftermath of the 2014 comedy. She notably anchored Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live and gained recognition as one half of the friendship duo she formed with Tina Fey. But Poehler's most distinguished role wouldn't come until 2009. She reached a career peak as Leslie Knope in NBC's Parks and Recreation, a mockumentary-style show revered in the sitcom world. Award nominations and global fame rained on Poehler for her character, whom she drew inspiration from in return. She told The Guardian, "She doesn't always think or act correctly, but her heart is always in the right place. So yes, I do sometimes think about what Leslie would do." Her creative genius couldn't be restricted to acting, as Poehler eventually ventured into creating, directing, and producing. Her name is attached to feminist-leaning projects like Broad City, Russian Doll, and Moxie. Poehler told the New York Times, "I do make it a point to try to investigate different ways to tell female stories, but I look for those stories because I want to make stuff I want to see." Poehler's years of comedic success culminated in a well-earned star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame in 2015. Mean Girls is more than just a movie for its fans. It was a meaningful milestone for Daniel Franzese, who found affirmation for his queer identity in the 2004 rom-com classic long before he told the world about it. His universally beloved character, Damian Lee, became a source of inspiration for not just people watching him on screen, but himself too. Franzese penned a heartfelt coming-out letter to his character, published in IndieWire on the film's 10-year anniversary. He wrote, "It took you to teach me how to be proud of myself again." But Franzese had a complicated relationship with his character for years after the film. According to the actor, the industry took Mean Girls as a license to pigeonhole him into stereotypical gay roles, a demand he refused to give into. He told them, I stayed unemployed for many years after Mean Girls because I refused to go backwards on the movement. I turned down a lot of money as my fame was rising. He landed roles in a few films and had episodic appearances on shows like CSI Crime Scene Investigation until 2014, when Franzese went public with his sexuality. He was able to land notable television work in the HBO series Looking and became attached to the popular reality show RuPaul's Drag Race. Tim Meadows has been known in comedy circles for having one of the longest Saturday Night Live tenures ever. The stage and screen legend has had many years of making people laugh behind him. In Mean Girls, he stepped into different shoes as the rarely smiling, mostly stern Ron Duvall, principal of North Shore High School. But when the cameras stopped rolling, he shared great camaraderie with his fellow actors. He told the AV Club, "It's like being in a Christmas movie or something. It's on every year. People like it. It speaks to a lot of people, women especially." And Meadows was the only original cast member to reprise his role for a 2011 television movie sequel of Mean Girls. Meadows will also return as Principal Duvall for the upcoming Mean Girls musical, as Tina Fey noted on Late Night with Seth Meyers.
It's just an incredible cast.
And also, don't sell yourself short.
And also, me and Tim Meadows are going to be there.
Meadows has continued to maintain strong ties to his improv comedy roots, touring comedy clubs across the U.S. He has remained a television fixture with appearances on popular sitcoms like The Office and 30 Rock. Rajiv Surendra may not be super well known in Hollywood, but his Mean Girls character, Kevin Napor, may have seen himself that way. The Canadian actor became a prominent face in millennial pop culture with his unforgettable portrayal of the math whiz/occasional rapper. Off-screen, he harbored other co-curricular interests, earning him a nickname on set. He told GQ, "They called me Martha Stewart because they knew I did pottery and knitted and everything." His reserve of varied creative interests would years later sprout into a YouTube channel with multi-purpose videos and thousands of committed followers. A major part of Surendra's decade after the premiere of Mean Girls was spent chasing the role of a lifetime in the award-winning drama Life of Pi. Surendra dropped out of college at one point to commit fully to the pursuit of the film. The lead part eventually went to Indian actor Suraj Sharma. Surendra then turned his unsuccessful quest for his dream role into a book titled The Elephants in My Backyard, and his Mean Girls role gave him ample satisfaction in the acting world. He told Kajal, "For me, if I never act again, I am so grateful that I was in at least one thing that people loved."